Sam, why aren't we giving more love to the Vikings? What do you think?
They are disrespected. I think as a whole, they are, because Detroit and Philly are just that much higher rated in a lot of people's systems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jaded by the Vikings because I bet against them on Sunday. And I just saw them throw deep balls where the Falcon defenders kept falling down. So now that I can see the ball a little bit more clear and I'm not still ticked from Sunday, that is a good football team. My issue with them is they are so good in their building in this postseason. Like I feel like if they're at home, it's a different story, but I don't like them going to Detroit and going to Philly. I think that's a team that has to have home field. I could be well wrong about that. I'm sorry, I don't trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs. That's sort of where
Yeah.
I'm at. They've done nothing wrong. Let me start by saying that. They've done nothing wrong. They have beaten basically everybody in front of them. They have 2 losses, a 2-point loss to the Lions and a 10-point loss at the Rams. And the Rams were at full strength in that game. And there was a fluky face mask in that game in the end zone. Minnesota has done nothing wrong. If you like them, go ahead and bet them at 9-1. If you like them even more, bet them at 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I just would not be betting it because I am much higher on both Detroit and Philly, period. It's nothing personal.
I would like them a lot more if you told me that they were going to win their division, because that means they're going to have a home game. So they're going to go on the road.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. If they're at home, it's a different story.
So, I mean, how do you feel about Vikings at Tampa Bay Bucks? I might be on the Vikings. We actually like both teams. We've liked the Bucks throughout the season, and we felt that those losses early on a bit fraudulent, and they're going to be just fine, and they were getting healthier. And post-bye, look at what's happened. They're reeling off a nice little winning streak here, and they're taking advantage of some of the weaker opponents that they're facing. Some weeks they look really good, and some weeks they do just enough to get by, like the Carolina game a week or so ago when they ended up winning in overtime. But the number always matters. But yeah, they're likely, unless Detroit just completely falls apart in the last month, they're not going to win the division.
Have Buffalo coming up.
Yes.
That could very easily be a loss. And then, okay, here you go. Your division likely decided on January 5th. Vikings at Lions.
Yeah. What do we not like? Let me start with what you like, because I understand Darnold is a concern and everybody's going to run to that. There were a couple of weeks where he really had some struggles, but it looks like he's okay now. I mean, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, weak opponent, bad defense, but he takes advantage. They almost always have the advantage with Kevin O'Connell. There is a reason that if you look up one-score record with every current coach, that he is the best one-score record. The best. Because he finds out all those edges. He makes the correct decisions when needed. So coaching advantage is usually going to be on Minnesota in most games. And they have a terrific defensive coordinator as well. So play caller, head coach, defensive coordinator, terrific. Playmakers on the outside. Now we're seeing Addison pop off when it was only Justin Jefferson for much of the year. Of course, still Jefferson. Now Hawkinson's been back a few weeks. He's 100% healthy. No questions about the offense at all. They've got a stronger run game than they've had in recent years. But yeah, I think the biggest one is Darnold. It's tough for me to come up with another issue unless matchup-wise you face a quarterback that destroys the blitz. Because against the Flores defense, that could present an issue. But I understand the overall point. I mean, they're the 3rd best team in the NFC, right?
They are. I have them in power rating. I have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in the NFL. So I don't think that they're a bad team. I just don't like their path. If the season were to end today, they have to go to Tampa and win. Then they have to go to Detroit and win. Then they have to go to Philly and win. Are they winning that 3-leg parlay? I don't think so.
Tough. Yeah. Very difficult to do. Is Sam Darnold going to go on the road in the playoffs and win all of those games? Very difficult to do. All right, let's look at some line moves, Sam, for week number 15 here. in the National Football League. Mentioned it with Brinson earlier. We knew this number was going to go down, probably because we were surprised that it was this high. 24 hours ago, it was sitting 6. Kansas City, nearly a touchdown favorite against Cleveland. People like to bet on Jameis. They like to. But the other part is the Chiefs can't cover a number. When it's north of a field goal, they can't cover. It's now 7 straight games. They have not covered. They're just worried about winning the game, and they don't care what the margin is. So they bet on Cleveland, and that number went down 2 full points early in the week from 6 to 4.
I have no idea what to do. Conventional wisdom says eventually the Chiefs are going to cover margin against a bad team.
Yeah, we said that last
Conventional wisdom also says the Cleveland Browns this year are 3-10 with a quarterback that could throw the ball to the other team at any point in time.
Yeah.
This line makes no sense. I probably won't bet it. I love me some underdogs. You know that. Home dogs even more. Can't do it. Can't do it either way. At least right now. Give me a couple days.
Yeah, Winston at home beat the Ravens, beat the Steelers in the snow game, lost to the Chargers on the road. It's been tough. It's been tough. They hung in that Denver game, should have covered, but the 3 interceptions also hurt things. I'm undecided. I'm not surprised that they took Cleveland. It's just people are looking at it. Let's not overthink it. It's a blind bet. Oh, Mahomes is favored by 6. I'm going the other way. It's more than field goal. I'm going the other way. They had that big lead. 3 straight weeks, they've let the opponent back in the game, and it happened again on Sunday night. At halftime, we were very comfortable with Chiefs -4, and then not so much. So, yeah, that was the big mover yesterday.
Could have covered at the end. If
I know.
they just went for the touchdown, they still could have covered. Still could have covered. But as you said correctly, did not play for said touchdown. Decided to let a third kicker kick a game-winning field goal this season.
Crazy.
They have had 3 different kickers kick game winners as time expired. That has never happened before in the history of the NFL. Butker, Schrader, Wright have all kicked game winners as time expired. Think about that. You love these big dogs in the NFL. Well, here you go. 463 Baltimore, 464 New York Giants. We are now through the 14, and we are out to 15. Are you taking 15 with the New York Giants at home?
Don't want to. They suck, man. God, do they suck. They are so bad. Like, what's the best that Drew Lock can do with this team? And remember, defensively, no Dexter Lawrence. They are just awful, awful. But, okay, Ravens, most of the year they struggled with the pass. It's been better of late. Can Drew Lock do enough? Can he do enough with Neighbors? He's targeting the hell out of him right now. They should have at least tied the game in the end. The blocked field goal against the Saints. They were set up. They were setting up to go to overtime, and then they couldn't get it done against New Orleans. They're not a great team. This number is insanely high. Yeah, it's Giants or nothing. What about you? Are you going to get there?
More off the bye?
Yeah, I don't care.
Mike, here's my concern betting the Giants. They lose 38-3.
Yeah, they could.
That's my concern.
Yeah. They very well could. I don't want to bet the game. I really don't. And the Giants are just so bad. They've given up on the season. They've given up on the coach. But this keeps going up, up, up. Like, how much higher can you go? It feels like this is the peak. No? Think you can go to 17?
I think it could. I'm not saying it will, but like, is it more likely it closes 14 or 17?
Look ahead, it was 12.
And people would take 17. I know guys that would take 17 no matter what.
Yes, correct. More likely, I think like I'd say closer to 14.
Okay.
We haven't seen a number like this year. And then one we saw last week in that same range, Panthers were live. And Panthers are so much better than the Giants right now, though. You know what? As far as line moves, the totals have really made a big adjustment this week. And the game of the week, Buffalo Detroit, we're sitting at 55 just about everywhere. 55. And the early stuff was 51 in the hook. It's like, man, this is going. Usually don't see numbers close around 55, but I'd assume it's going to keep going.
I ended up betting Detroit late on Thursday night under 53, and it was not fun. We did have Packers in that game, but I ended up also betting some under. It was not fun. Can I go back to the well under 55 at MGM? Maybe.